The first bat comes out. Look how ineffective bats actually are. I mean, just some damage. It's not killing anything, you know? One bat's not effective. One more bat. Oh, another nice connected bat. Oh no, look! My opponent's so hype. Just before exploding, my opponent dismounts, so the bat doesn't trigger. So very smooth by my opponent. So we're against Nuvu. And Nuvu goes an interesting strategy here. Look at this. This early Ancient of War. Now, if I hate this Night Elf cheese, but thankfully we have a very good burrow position. We're ready for it. We have this aggressive open burrow, lifted courtesy from Grubby. I've just been seeing some top orcs put their burrow a little more aggressively. And it allows me to put pressure on this with just one peon. And it's just so annoying. I don't even know if this is effective, but whenever Night Elf opponents do it to me, I get really tilted. I don't like it. It's in my base. Thankfully, I have this early grunt here that I can swiftly take care of it. So my cheese kind of was fairly well matched against your cheese, right? I just am able to swiftly chop this down. Heroic grunt. Let's go. So as my heroic grunt goes on the way to build a hero, my opponent decides to meet me there. Maybe because they're not used to seeing that grunt. Yep. Now when my opponent does see the grunt, go for the Shadow Strike as one does, but then there's another grunt, and then there's a Firelord, and all of a sudden you're outmatched. So yeah, Firelord versus Warden. It's kind of a matchup we like, right? Because the Warden, all of a sudden that happens, right? You can't even get in a Shadow Strike because you get soul burned. So that's exactly what we're doing. We're just going to rush this Warden as much as we can, because the Moon Wells is really what the Warden has to deal with. The Warden has to rely on them, whereas me, I have salves. The salves will come to me via this grunt and the backpack upgrade, so watch how it happens. Let's go on my perspective here, right? So at this point, when you're doing the strategy, the Firelord needs to be like a turret, because you just need to get as much value from auto attacks as you can. Don't chase that long, even though it's tempting. You want to be doing damage, yeah, back on something else. So my grunts are now in free reign territory. Let's go for some wisps. Nope, not for the Tree of Life. That's the one thing that fights back. There you go. Go for wisps. Let's get a soul burn on the archer. Why not? You know, I don't want that archer doing any damage. 3 damage to my grunt. Pathetic. Immediately switch back on the Warden. Yeah, Warden needs damage. Hope the Moonwells try as your might. This grunt's surprisingly sturdy when your units are getting soul burned, but thankfully our micro speeds up. We could have had this grunt faster, but we're getting our micro pushed to the limit. We have salves coming, but uh-oh, not before my opponent gets some good shading. But whoop, the grunts, they're fighting back, the grunts. Nice, so we eventually have to TP. This grunt needs to come back, and this grunt stays. So this grunt decides to stay there, just to put some pressure. Now this could have gone better. You see, I just was too slow on the salve. So in many ways, the game, we put some pressure on, but he's able to run away. If I had godlike micro, the Warden dies there, but you're able to turn away, and I'm finally able to, like, okay, look at this. I'm trapped in my burrow. So I TP back, and oh my gosh, this burrow that saved me now punishes me. So I just have to destroy the burrow, and my Warden opponent gets off scot-free, right? I mean, really think about it. I would have been way earlier back at the base with multiple grunts, but instead I had to destroy my own burrow, build another burrow, and alright, we're hitting it again. But this game, it's not as easy as it looks. This becomes a slog. So I get the circlet and the dust, just so I can fight with a vengeance, and here we are, fighting with a vengeance. Now, I decide to focus this, and then immediately, yeah, you go on the Warden here. Nice surround by me. You're going to have to TP there. The dust was maybe premature. I would have liked to not dust there, let them attempt to dust, but no, we get another surround in. Eventually you're going to have to TP, right? Soul burn? Yeah, TP. So with the TP, I now just decide to focus on the Ancient of War, which is, you know, not bad. It's not the only Ancient of War my opponent has, though. In my head, when this was happening, I thought it was the only Ancient of War my opponent had, but no, it's not the only one. So we stop the creeping. and we're able to lick our wounds with salve, and then we're back with the Naga. So let's keep on fighting. Don't get the soul burn before the shadow strike, but soul burn negates the follow-up damage. Yeah, anytime you have soul burn, chasing is tough. Are the grunts here getting maximum farmed? So first grunt fallen, but the Naga is here. So the Naga is now pushing the advantage. We have soul burn and Naga supremacy, which allows our grunts to get into position here. Grunt needs to block. Yep. As the two range heroes do their thing, the grunt's just blocking. Now this grunt's taking damage, but eventually these archers get in a nice volley. And one grunt, two grunt down. So that's a high-level Warden coming your way. All of a sudden this not going so well. Oh no, this push of mine. So we speed scroll out once we get Shadow Strike. So lost all of our grunts. We let this archer base get so much value. Looking back on that, we let the archers just attack, which was tough, right? We now, let's just keep on cooking with it. We decide to creep. So we're creeping, we're going Bestiary, Tauren Totem, because we're trying to build a nice army. We have the War Mill. We should probably get some more lumber peons, or put our lumber peons back into production on the War Mill. We decided to do some creeping because my opponent is surely doing the same thing. Level 3 Warden, though, is going to be a lot slow to creep to level 4. So I would probably say an attack by my opponent now would be the most beneficial, but thankfully we're allowed to kind of get up to level 2 too. Oh, and look at this. My opponent has hippogriffs. I don't scout this one bit. So watch how this game progresses. I'm getting a pretty standard army composition to help out my double range DPS heroes here. You know, Grunt, Raider, Walker. We're just deciding to creep. Glove of Haste, great on the Fire Lord. Every creep camp we see is bounty. Warden level 4, but now we're level 2 too. So, you know, equal, is it? 2 level 2 heroes versus 1 level 4? You decide, America. But we're getting raiders, and look how this happens in real time. Just going along my business way, playing Warcraft 3. Decide to scout what my opponent's doing at this mercenary camp. Nothing there, but what? I see all the air, and I just nope out of there. My opponent sees that I'm noping out of there, and the immediately bats. Yeah, the dynamic of the game has changed. Caught flat-footed on the open field. Even looking back on, should I have even netted that? Because now you get in range of Shadow Strike, but the Raider is running away. Immediately ephemeral, so we don't get autoed. Soul Burn just giving us time to run back, and the first bat comes out. Look how ineffective bats actually are. I mean, just some damage. It's not killing anything, you know. One bat's not effective. So we do some damage here because it is really the strength. He uses the scroll of healing, which is fine. We use another fan of knives. So our grunts dead, Raider dead, but he used all of his consumables. I have a potion and another bat. All right, bat needs to connect. Okay, bat connects, but we're not killing the archers. Thankfully, we get a chain lightning that kills both of those. If we didn't kill both of those, the bats would have kind of been for nothing. But so, you know, this is why air is tough versus orc. Even though I'm so late on adapting to this switch, even though my opponent now is spending some time, I'm at 2 speed, right? We're healing. I can now just pump bats. So I'm 1 base bat, and thankfully, man, you saw how we lost those other games, right? We didn't expand. Looks like I'm learning from my lesson here, and I'm expanding. So this nice expansion, while I know my opponent has air and I have bats. So we get a nice little move here. We have a Wand of Illusion on bats and the Fire Lord, and it works. So we have a fight here, and I get 1 bat up, and it's a Wand of Illusion bat. So my opponent spends all this time trying to do some damage on the bat, trying to spread. You gotta watch out for the bat. Oh, there was an illusion the whole time. For shame. But man, why are they so tanky, man? I feel like hippogriffs are so tanky. So nice. That's a real bat though. But will you ever know? So I was able to protect my expansion, but they do scout it. Look, my opponent sees it with the invisibility. This annoying Warden play. Annoying Warden. Thankfully, our heroes are well equipped. Once the Naga and the Fire Lord are near the Warden, It's just a matter of time the Warden has to use invulnerability or run away. So you use invulnerability so you don't get Shadow Strike, but like what really can you do? I have pretty tanky units, and the Spirit Link helps a lot here. Unfortunately, I do deny the bat, but it wasn't able to explode itself. So the bats still get to play defense here. The ends justify some means, but I need to kill this. Oh, dude. Please kill it. Nice. Bats are sometimes not favorable against Hippogriff Riders. They have so much health. But thankfully I have 2 range heroes. So my range heroes can make this harder than it is. I'm trying to soul burn just to prevent damage, but my opponent, you know, really trying to prevent my expansion here, just flooding me with Hippogriff Riders. Could probably be better on the micro here. You see my opponent's vision, trying to do as much as they can. They do get the kill, and they actually keep all of their hippos, so very nicely done by my opponent. And now they're back on speed with their Warden as well. If Warden was there, they could have really crushed it. But now, back to me. What am I doing? Back to the Durazion. I'm just building more bats. And now I decided to put some towers up. So unfortunately, my expansion gets canceled. Not good. I hope I denied it, but who knows. I used the lumber to make a watchtower because I need to at least defend it before I try this again. And bats, you know, for as fragile as they are, they allow me to be on the map because I can at least chase the Night Elf opponent with the threat of my heroes and Bat Riders. So let's creep a bit. Meanwhile, my opponent's kind of, trying this stuff. Trying that annoying potion of invisibility, anti-magic potion. Thankfully, we just burrow up because we're orc. Shouldn't have sent our bats back. What are they going to do? But where are my heroes right now? Okay, so my heroes are just finished creeping. Bats have been sent back, but we're scouting, so we see it there, and now we're trying to get the encirclement. Okay, so he's gunning for my bats when they can. Fan of Knives. He's going to kill one of these bats. That's one. He's really trying to kill the bats, which lets me know he has air still, right? Do I get the kill? I tried to Spirit Link, but that's 2 bats dead. Pretty good. 2 bats dead, but I get the soul burn there and the arrow, and eventually the fork lightning. Ooh, really unfortunate. You had TP there. So my opponent definitely throwing a bit. Could have been a nice smooth TP into Bat Rider death, but we're able to burst him down. It's the mass Warden strategy, and you know what? There's only one way to stop this. Yep, you know. You just got to kill the altar. So once I kill the altar, I figure this is a game of decision making, you know. Thankfully, we're able to do it. Now, this is a decision I could have made. Once the altar's dead, I see my opponent do this. Look, I'm just killing the Moonwells. Is my opponent, where are they? With units? Somewhere. They're flying around, checking to see if I have an expansion. I don't. But eventually, I see that he's left his gold mine and he went to go get wood. I should have known that to mean he's getting a tavern hero. I saw this happen. If I just move up with the Naga and fork lightning this. But I Bat Rider all of these guys that come up. Sorry, we missed that a bit. But we Bat Rider there, and it doesn't even kill all of them. And it does slow down my ability to kill the Moonwells. So my opponent has 25 out of 50 food. And my range heroes really cannot die at this point, you know, because these Hippo Riders have so little damage. And my Fire Lord alone is pretty tanky. So we're just trying to zone him out. While my opponent's trying to get more mana, more lumber. Just needs lumber right now. Get another Bat Rider up. Trying to get this lumber. Gets the Warden up. Level 5. Terrifying. And I'm just okay. Trying to kill 32 out of 30. So if only I killed the Moonwells fast enough. Could have maybe denied the buyback because of no food. But my opponent has 1 shot. You have to make this comeback. So you get Invisibility Potion. Get the Scrolls. Invul. And you need some mana. So it looks like, ooh, the bat connects well. That bat connects really well. Glad that happened. 1 more bat. Oh, another nice connected bat. Oh no, look! My opponent's so hype. Just before exploding, my opponent dismounts. So the bat doesn't trigger. So very smooth by my opponent. Unfortunately, you still get netted. But oh man, the Warden surprises me. My Naga's dead. And it's like my Night Elf opponent is making the comeback of a lifetime. So I just TP out of there. Better safe than sorry. I've done catastrophic damage to my opponent's Moonwells. 17 out of 20. If you guys want to break the Night Elf back, that's the way to do it. Catastrophic damage to the Moonwells. We have the guard towers doing work. And at this point, I'm just rebuilding a base. I know I have a gold mine left, even though my opponent doesn't, because I was getting harassed so heavily by the Warden. So we have time to rebuild. And that's what we do. We rebuild, we get a raider. We're literally just sticking put. The moment we see this, look, my opponent, I believe, believes they can catch me sleeping. So my opponent's here, like, catch him sleeping. I want to shadow strike him. Nope. The moment I see you, you're getting soul burn. So you have to anti-magic potion immediately. So he anti-magic potions, dispels the soul burn. Now I spirit link these two units, trying to run that around as my... now you get invul potion. So that's a lot of resources thrown into killing the raiders. And yeah, I get it. Raiders are tough. But now that we're back, you got a TP. You're trying to get level 6, obviously, right? Ooh, the Shadow Strike doesn't quite kill. My opponent's trying to get level 6, as would I. But you got to do something about this expansion, because we get another expansion up. And now we're just camping right here. If that Warden is the only thing we got to deal with, well, the Bat Rider gets the Scout. As you see, the Bat Rider is like seeing all this. My opponent sees that, decides to send him back, but my Bat Rider is now in a game of tug-of-war. You're trapped between a hard place. Should you get the explosion? Oh, you got Shadow Striked instead. So rip, Bat Rider. You gave the Warden level 6. Oh no. Warden's level 6, but I want to show you guys what to do when that happens, when you've made the mistake of giving the Warden level 6. You know she's going to come at your base eventually. She secures the expansion. Nice early use of it, so the cooldown's already active. We get potions. We're going in. We have all the anti-magic potions, so it's quite the investment every time my opponent goes out. I decided to just start creeping. Wish I decided earlier, because my opponent gets the wash. I get this item, Wand of the Wind. Don't even use it. Invisible Warden, oh no! But this is a nice little presence of mind by me. I see what's happening. I see the level 6, and you immediately have to kill the Avatar. And you ensnare the Avatar. So I don't care about this Warden, because you need to kill the Avatar, because once she spawns invulnerability things, the only way to kill them is to kill the Avatar. So get that ensnare off, and now the Warden is just taking too much damage. Invuln would have been fine there when you had full health, but now, okay, was Warden scary, but we will weather the storm. Would have been nice to have a scroll of healing, but we just surround, we ensnare a million times, another ensnare. Oh, I think even the towers got that kill. But we do have the expansion, so does my opponent, but we have to be able to push the advantage, right? So we heal up, ward up, spirit link up, and what are we doing? Yeah, you know it. Killing the Night Elf. My Warden opponent comes back, but where are you running to? Full health, soul burn, into ensnare, into GG. That's dust was useful. Dust at the last minute. GG, Nuvu. Hey. Guys, I want to say thank you for watching. Big shout outs to everyone who's been watching, right? See, we had a little bit of a losing spell. Look at those 3 losses. Those hurt. But we got back on the saddle again. Another one of these losses hurt, but we're back up to 1519. We're trying to see if we can break 1600. That's the real goal. Maybe we can break 1600. But thanks so much for watching the video. Please subscribe, and I'll catch you on the next one. Bye.